Hey everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. Tonight we're going classic Tex-Mex with chicken fajitas. This meal couldn't be any simpler. In under 30 minutes, you have got a delicious and mostly nutritious meal on the table. And what we're going to do to start is rice. I always like to serve it with rice just in case someone wants to make a bowl instead of a fajita. So all I do is I get my rice cooker out and I take the bowl and scoop a cup of rice into my rice cooker. And don't forget to wash the rice. So that's what I'm going to do. Just to make this extra special, where I get a chicken bouillon cube, and mine are pretty solid. You can't really squish them. So I'll show you my trick. Grab yourself a rolling pin, and I thought I had, and get yourself a sandwich bag. I usually keep one just for this, but I must have thrown it away. Now all I need to do is take the bouillon cube, close it up a little bit, and get out your frustrations. And just roll it until it crushes. And then you're done. Now you have crushed bouillon, and throw it in to your rice. And then add 2 cups of water. So it's 2 to 1. I have a cup of rice, so 2 cups of water. And I don't know if you can see it, but I have little ticks on my rice cooker, so I don't have to worry about anything. Put it in my rice cooker. Plug this bad boy in. This rice cooker, got from Walmart, Amazon, something like that. We get a lot of stuff from Amazon. So I think we only paid like 20 bucks for it. And it is a good thing to have. Almost forgot the rice spoon. Stir that up. Put it to cook. And now that can be doing its thing while we get on with the rest of it. And I'm going to clean up my mess real quick. Now that the rice is doing its thing, it's time to get the vegetables ready. And we are doing, honestly, I think we're only going to do 1 onion and then a bell pepper. There's only 2 of us in the house. Expand as needed. And if you've been around my channel any in the last 3 years, you know how I cut an onion. But that's our first step. We cut the onion by docking both ends, getting the paper off. And since this is fajitas, I'm just going to slice them. Don't try that at home. You may cut off your fingers. But the one thing that's super important when you're doing meals like this, make sure your knife is sharp. You don't want to be cutting like this and have a blunt knife. So now we do the bell peppers, which are just as simple. I cut the top off, get rid of the stem, and then I'm going to pull out all of the innards. And bell peppers, let's face it, aren't spicy at all, but you still don't want to bite into a membrane or get seeds stuck in your teeth. And I'm going to wash my hands off real quick because seeds. Alrighty, so the trick I have for bell peppers is If you're finding them hard to cut through, turn them over. I swear. So we need these in slices. I've got the skin side down, and it's much easier to cut through the pepper. And they are good to go. Now, what do we do with the top? We slice it. Since it's just family, it's going to be all good. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this to one of my containers, and then I'm going to get the chicken ready, and we can head over to the stove. All right, got my containers. If you saw the patty melt video, you know I absolutely love these. I was informed we got these at Walmart, but I did leave a link to Amazon in the description of that video. Also, if you want to make patty melts, go check it out. But you can get these anywhere. Absolutely love them. And they make transporting much easier. Now, I will not make the same mistake I did last time and burn it. So I'm getting everything put together now, and then I can pay attention to them and not burn them. Alrighty, so the next step is to clean my knife. And now I'm going to work with chicken. Of course, it is very important to be careful with chicken. You don't want to get anything nasty. Hence why I cut the vegetables first, so I didn't have any cross-contamination. But again, I'm just going to slice these, and I'm going to throw them in my bowl over here. And I'm doing some pretty thin slices. I just want them to cook faster. And I'm going to cut some in half. I want them to fit on the tortillas. We have taco tortillas, and they're kind of small. So I just want to make sure they'll fit. And I'm only doing one chicken breast. Again, there's only 2 people. But I'd say for fajitas, depending on the size of the chicken breast, maybe 1 chicken breast per 2 people. If it's a small chicken breast, of course, 1 apiece. And with chicken, always wash your hands. So I thought I was being slick. Then I forgot to smash the garlic. So I had to get a new knife. But let's do that real quick. So I think I'm just going to chop it up small. And I'm doing 2 cloves of garlic because we really like garlic. But if you're not the biggest fan, you can always adjust down. And if you don't have garlic, you use garlic powder or omit it if you'd like. It's completely up to you. So I'm just going to slice this up. Make sure you don't have the tops in there. And now that I got it sliced, I'm just going to run my knife through it until they're really small pieces. You don't have to be too precise with this just because it's being cooked down, but you don't want any large hunks. All right, so now that we have the garlic minced, basically, we're going to put it in our bowl over here with our chicken. All right, so we had chili powder, and we need about half a tablespoon. And then about the same of ground cumin. Again, I just kind of eyeball it. Then about a half a teaspoon of smoked paprika. I'm going to use a little bit more just because we like it. About 2 teaspoons of oregano. Again, we like it, so I'm going to use a little bit more. Then, of course, salt, and do this to taste. And pepper. And now, to just toss this, and then we'll head over to the stove. So now I'm just going to toss it, make sure that the chicken is good and covered. And it should look something like this. Just good and covered, and there's not a lot on the bowl, not a lot of seasonings on the bowl. It is much easier to use a gallon Ziploc bag, but I'm out, and I don't want to use one of my reusable ones for something like this. That's definitely something that should be thrown away. All right, so next we're going to get over to the stove and go from there. Now we're at the stove. Turn a high-sided skillet on about medium-high heat, and olive oil. And then we cook these in batches. So I'm going to let that oil heat up for just a minute, and then we'll be right back. Now, it's important not to crowd the skillet, but you definitely want to do this in as few batches as possible. We're hungry. All right, that's the first batch in. We're going to let it cook, and we'll be back in about 2 to 3 minutes. All right, let's see if this is ready to flip. Ooh, look at that. That looks so good. Cook these for a few more minutes and keep going. All righty. This has got some good color on it. And with them being so thin, this is definitely done. So I'm going to move them to a plate and keep going. All righty. So last step, we need to add some more oil. Now I've got this turned down all the way, but we need to cook the onions and peppers in all this flavor. And we're just going to saute this. Make sure you always feed some to the stove. But we're going to saute this until it deglazes the pan, because believe it or not, it will. And everything is soft. We'll add the chicken back in, and then it's almost time to eat. All right, now it's time to add the chicken back in. And this will make sure that any pieces that weren't completely cooked. All right. The fajita mixture is done. I don't know if you can see this or not. It's completely done. We have our tortillas, our rice, and I forgot to pick up salsa, but we do have sour cream. So I'm going to show you how to do this 2 ways. I'm going to make a fajita, and then I'm also going to make a fajita bowl. So for just the normal fajitas, you take your tortilla and heat them up in the microwave for 5-10 minutes. 5-10 seconds, not minutes. And then a little bit of the rice. Now you can use any rice you like. We had jasmine rice, so that's what I'm using. Then I'm going to add some of the fajita mixture. And then a dollop of sour cream. And there you go. There's option number 1. Now we can do option number 2. Kind of the same thing. I'm going to put rice in the bottom of a bowl. Get some of the fajita mixture. And then just another dollop of daisy. Now you can have salsa. I know fajitas don't usually come with cheese, but I like cheese, so I usually put them on mine. Sour cream, cilantro, whatever you like. But there you go. And there is your second option, a fajita bowl. Don't dump it out. And there you have it. It couldn't be any easier to make classic chicken fajitas or chicken fajita bowls. I truly appreciate everyone who watches to the end. And if you would like to see more, I publish weekly on Sundays. So hit the subscribe button and don't forget the notification bell. If you would like to make this recipe or any recipe that I make on the channel, head over to homestylecookingwithjen.com. There you'll find every recipe that I've ever made, including the videos that are no longer available on this channel and I will be remaking. But I hope everyone has a wonderful week ahead, and as always, stay happy, healthy, and well fed. Until next time.